Right now it's just so big, just one aim. One aim. Okay, one aim. Check it. Look, see when I let that thing down.
We are back with DTV's Esports Edition, Tide Talk Real Special Edition. So right now I have Anthony and his coach Kiernan Ensor. Ensor, okay, I'm bad, I'm sorry about that, Ensor. So right now, esports is basically the biggest wave in the sporting industry and just gaming industry, period, making like over $1 billion pretty much annually. So what I want to talk about first, I want to get into it with you, Coach. Instead of Anthony, you had your time to shine, but right now I'm going to get into the coach.
Of course.
So what made you choose to become a coach for esports or just University of Delaware in general?
Yeah, so I actually grew up working in traditional athletics. So
Okay.
I come from an athletics family. So from the second I was able to hold the broom, I was mopping during timeouts, doing halftime during games. And as I progressed, I just gathered more and more sports experience. But my true passion was gaming.
Okay.
So I had always followed the competitive scenes, and when StarCraft 2 was launched in 2009, I got really into it. I started following everyone on Twitch. And I continued to progress in my sports career, particularly college athletics. And I recognized I loved working with students. I loved working with the administrators. But after watching 5 or 6 baseball games, the last thing I wanted to do was watch a baseball game in my off time. I had no desire whatsoever. But I did relax by watching esports. And I was like, I understood I had this depth of knowledge that I could transition as esports became more and more popular in the college scene. So I took my talents elsewhere and tried to see if I could make it in college esports, and it's been a dream. Working with students who are so grateful, so humble, who appreciate this opportunity so much, it's really been a dream come true to work with them, and it makes going to work the greatest thing of my day.
Okay, so were you a coach before UD at all? So where did you coach before UD?
So I was a program director and head coach up at the Canisius College up in Buffalo, New York.
Okay, all right. So Anthony, what has been your biggest influence in the gaming industry?
To me, like when I was growing up, I didn't really have much of an influence because back then, to me, I would say that my biggest influencer is myself, because I want to grow more as a person and be better than I was yesterday. And I feel like that motivation and drive in my head allowed me to be where I am today. And I feel like that's just like when people look up to someone else, it feels like that they can't see the bad of it, because we're all not perfect, of course, but I just want to be better than I am rather than be someone else.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the questions I did have when we were playing, before we talked off camera, you talked about like trash talking and esports and everything. So what has been, I would probably say, who is like your biggest rival or competition that you've had competitively?
That has been like a very varied question over the years. I wouldn't say I really have a rival in particular. There are people that I feel like I would just don't like just for like their attitude, their charisma, and just like their over cockiness. But I feel like it's just like, that's just something you're gonna find in the community, no matter which one you pick. So for me, I feel like I just like, okay, this is a barrier. All right, I'll prove them wrong. I'll become better than I was before. And whatever trash talk they want to throw at me, whatever, man.
Yeah, true. I respect it. So now, Coach, basically same similar question. What has been who's one of your influences growing up in the video game community and esports community, and what has been like your biggest, I would say, challenge as being a coach?
Yeah, so I had a lot of great influences growing up in athletics, and I've really taken a lot of what I've learned from there and transitioned it into esports. I worked a lot down in Disney Sports, so I got to meet a lot of great people down there. The Disney Institute was a great program to actually hear how they go about their planning and how they go about their culture building. So that was a really cool experience that I got to have. I've got to see some great coaches up front and personal. Bill Self at Kansas, Coach Krzyzewski at Duke, really unique opportunities, seeing them in the locker room, pre-game, post-game, sitting right behind them at benches. And the way they talk to players, not just during game, but at practices, and how they motivate them, and how it's always it's a mixed bag of like when to be hard, when to be light, when to give them a cheer up, when to give them a pat on the back, and really when to focus them. So I've had a lot of great influences. Obviously the biggest one for me is my dad. He works in college athletics. So those have been my influences in the coaching sphere. Biggest challenge for esports in the collegiate scene is it's just growing.
Okay.
And we're going through a lot of growing pains. I am fortunate and blessed to have the University of Delaware support unilaterally. They are building a great program and a great culture there, but that's not the case across the board.
Yeah.
So as college esports remains fragmented, remains growing, that is still to this day the biggest pain point. But we're looking to bring some championships now that we got Anthony coming on board.
I like that. Yeah, because I remember when I was at UD, I went there in 2015, graduated 2020. You feel me? Fifth year. If you were fifth year, shout out fifth year. You feel me? But I graduated UD 2020, and right then I remember we talked about this off camera that they had it was like a little rec room type style for us to play video games or just chill. They had like a pool table. I believe it was at Perkins Student Center. And we would just come down there, chill for a little bit, and then just play video games. But now, I went there before recently, and I've just seen how just state of the art it is. It's just amazing, what goes into building it and what goes into just having an esports program. Because even my school that I went to for high school, AI DuPont now has their own little esports little arena that they made. It was pretty dope. It's amazing. And it's the same thing. I was like, how come y'all have not built this when I was there? Every time I leave, then y'all want to build it. But I'm like, if we had it there, it would have been amazing. Well, if I had it when I went there, the whole thing would have been just packed. So you talked about couple college coaches from Kansas and then Coach K from Duke. What are some of the things that you pulled from them? Because I know you talked about certain coaching styles, but have you any have you seen any resemblance in the mindset of the mental aspect, the physical aspect of those other basketball, football type of sports into esports?
Yeah, so comparing traditional athletics to esports is a little bit like apples and oranges. Mm-hmm. There's definitely some crossover. The biggest thing I've taken away from any coach is the ability to empower your students. And really that's what fundamentally UD is built around in its esports program. Because the reality of the situation is there's very little I can teach Anthony about the game of Super Smash Brothers. The amount that he could teach me is almost infinite, but the amount that I could teach Anthony is almost none. What I really look to do is help optimize the out-of-gameplay aspects.
Okay.
What are you doing with your academics? How are you taking care of yourself? What's your sleep patterns? What are you eating? Are you getting enough exercise? Because everything outside the game affects how you play inside it.
Okay.
So time management is a huge skill. Anyone who's ever been to college can tell you that, especially when you're coming in as a freshman, going from a highly regimented high school career to, you may only have one class today. What am I going to do with that time? And so we really work on them, with them to talk about how are we going to do this? What do you want to do? And we empower them. We create broadcast opportunities, internship opportunities, podcast opportunities. So a lot of things that go outside the game, from TOing to graphic design and everything else. And that's really what I've taken from those great coaches is how do I empower players so they get the best opportunity to shine?
Okay. So one thing is what's on a daily, it's for both of y'all, on a daily basis, what does the life of a coach and a player entail?
So for a player, it definitely comes down to practice, mental, and how much time you're willing to put into the game. While, like Coach said, just providing yourself where you're not overdoing it and focusing on more life aspects. I believe mental is it's like any sport that you play. You have to focus with your mental and know when you're dealing with situations that are as a wall for you. Mm-hmm. And practice is like how much time are you willing to put into the game, and the time commitment that you're going to put, is it going to be worth it? And are you going to put as much effort as other players who are at the top, at the bar, compared to yourself? And I feel like that's probably like the biggest challenge that you're going to be doing when you're trying to reach the top of the ladder.
On average, how many hours do you practice a week?
If it's
on average
a week, I would say for a day, it would be at least 2 to 4 hours if I get the chance. But usually I have to worry about school, so that way, of course. But if it's on weekends, usually I hit that 4-hour time.
Okay.
So I can go longer, but usually that practice adds up.
Okay. And now for Coach, what does daily life of a coach entail with esports?
Yeah, so the morning, obviously before my students wake up, because they are gamers, and I'm not getting an email or a note from them on Discord before noon.
Yeah.
So in the morning I'm working with the administration, figuring out what we're going to do, how we're going to grow, what are our KPIs looking like, what are we looking to do over the next year, 16 months, 18 months, 2 years. So we really focus in on, we're going to be hosting a high school invitational next month at the University of Delaware. So we're planning that. We're working for our national championships as well. So league championships are going on. So making all the plans for that is usually how I spend my morning, and extracurricular activities there. And then once the students start populating, it is, all right, what do they need? What are my one-on-ones looking like today? Am I meeting with the team today? How did they perform last night? Talking with their coaches, because we hire outside coaches to actually improve the skills of our players, since that is an area I can't really assist in providing expertise in. So I talk with them, making sure that everything's going well, making sure that the communication, camaraderie is there. And that's pretty much my day. At night, I'm watching the matches, because we usually play our games at 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Watching our broadcasts to make sure that our streamers are doing well, our producers are doing well, that we're hitting all of our sponsor elements and assets. So those really are the aspects of my night, and the honest to God truth is it's a 24-hour job. My students have access to me via Discord and on my phone any time of the day or night, and unfortunately that is the case when I get that ping at 3 a.m. going, hey coach, you up? I'm like, I have to be at work at 9 a.m. tomorrow, but it's great. It is really great to talk to them and grow with them.
Okay, so the last question that I have for us to wrap it up would be, what is like personal goals that you have and team goals for both of you? What are like your personal goals that you want to achieve in 2023 and beyond, and just team goals for the University of Delaware team?
For me at the moment, I definitely am striving to, for Smash Ultimate specifically, is be, if not the best Mega Man player in the world. Currently, I'm the third best one behind 2 players, the best in the US and the best in Japan. And I really want to reach that goal, or at least, and the other one being on the Orion rank or Ultra rank to like solidify that top 150 true status and just go big with this game. The other one being is academic, of course, trying to expand within the psychology field and just grow more as an individual, of course.
Yeah, okay. And coach?
Team goals specifically for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is, we have a great team right now. I think part of the reason that we were able to sell Anthony is we have a truly great group of students that have, we only recently expanded into the game title this semester. So we have a great group of students who are already highly competitive. Bringing Anthony on board is a linchpin moment for us. So now it's time to see what we can do. And for us, that is to win our local leagues and compete at the national level against all the big dogs. We want to bring home some championships. We want to get our name out there, grow the brand, and showcase really the tremendous efforts of our students to hopefully grow and inspire more people like Anthony to join us at UD.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So last thing is, do you have any like social medias and stuff, or any social medias, or just where people can reach out to you guys at for just if they want to get advice or be part of the team?
Well, for me, I have. You can go at mpg_a Casale on Twitter. That's where you can usually find me. I also have a Medify, which is a coaching platform for Smash players, and you can find that at medify.gg/mpg. And then, of course, my Twitch, twitch.tv/mpg, which is like usually the main free socials I go by. And that's usually where people can find me if they want to talk with me, because I'm always open to talk with people, or if they just need help within the game, you can always just go for the Medify process. And usually there's just all the lessons there. There's so many options you can choose from to grow within the game and just have a better understanding of esports in general. And Twitch is just where you can see me just be myself and have a good time.
For us at UD, it's Blue Hen Esports on Twitch, on Instagram, and on Twitter. And we're always checking our DMs to make sure who's interested and who wants to come be the next Blue Hen. be the next all-star like Anthony.
All right, cool. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys coming on. I greatly appreciate it. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, man. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, all that good stuff, man. Yeah, so this is a fun episode. I really enjoyed this.
Fun.
Anthony beat my behind, but look, man, we gonna move past that. We gonna get better from that. But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. Till next time, and just like that, we gone.
And like that, we gone.